3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest ISD? What is happening? Your favorite duo is back in the studio. My name is Brandon Big Poppy Medina. We got Mr. Peter. What can we call you? We gotta have a cool nickname.
Talking about? You know what? I'm gonna let Andy and everybody who listens
Gives you a nickname.
Let's see what it is. I'm interested.
Alrighty.
Yes, I want to see what it is.
I don't think you're gonna like any of them.
I mean, probably not.
We might not be able to say the nickname.
Is that not the purpose?
Could it be? Is it like Peter the Coach Wagner? Peter
That's
the
terrible.
Peter the what? What
You know what? You know what?
What they call you?
You know what my middle name? My middle school name was?
What was it? You're lying about it too. Go ahead.
In basketball, I was called Pop-O-Matic.
Peter Pop-O-Matic Wagner.
You know why? Because I shot all the time. I was like the black hole with the basketball.
Well, did you? How much? What was?
I shot like 8%.
Okay,
no,
fair.
I was terrible.
There you go.
I retired my sophomore year.
Peter Pop-O-Matic.
After having to dig the splinters from my rear for sitting the bench on the JV B team basketball team.
Could you imagine? This is like Greece. It's Ultramatic, Pop-O-Matic.
Still can't make it.
Yeah,
but automatic.
That's right. Peter Pop-O-Matic Wagner. Well, hey, listen, we're here with you.
I don't want that, by the way. That was it's got to be better than that.
This is the Scoreboard podcast. We are having so much fun.
That was completely.
This was not
unscripted. Like you just came up with that.
Yeah. I said it. I said it thinking I'll come up with something for him, and then I looked at you and I go, I got nothing for you.
Yeah.
Nothing for you. But we do have a lot for you as the listener because it's going to be a packed show. We have cross country, we have tennis, we have water polo, football, so much happening, volleyball. There's a lot to get into. But with that, Peter Wagner is here, your athletic director for Southwest ISD. This is Scoreboard Podcast, your number one stop shop for all things Southwest ISD. I promise we talk sports, not just nicknames. But when it comes to sports, talk to us about kind of how things are going. A few weeks in, we're about to end the first full month of the school year. And so looking at things for the fall, how are we standing, sir?
You know, I was in a meeting this morning and we were talking about tell me something good. And I said, and it dawned on me, I was like, we're already off to a really good start in athletics.
I think so, yeah.
Because if you look at, you have 2 undefeated tennis teams.
Mm-hmm.
We have our water polo teams. Right now, Legacy is undefeated. That Legacy girls are undefeated in district. And they got a J team. They're playing homes tonight. That's a big game and stuff. But the Southwest boys water polo team won a thriller on Monday night in triple overtime.
Oh, my God.
It's actually double overtime in a shootout in water polo. So I want you to imagine this for a minute. 4 7-minute quarters of swimming back and forth. There's no shallow end.
No.
There were multiple kids that played the whole game, right? Didn't drown. And so they played that plus 2 3-minute overtimes and then a shootout.
No.
I mean, the amount of cramp. You would be one cramp.
Yeah, you'd be a cramp. But also the sleep.
You would be
after?
Brandon dead Medina.
Yeah, that's what it is. Drowned Medina. Yeah. I'll tell you what though, the sleep after that, brother. Sleep must be insane. Also, the carbo load must have been crazy.
The amount of calories burned. But they won. I think it was, and I'll get quoted on this later. But they won by 1, obviously. In the
that's awesome. What a way to win.
In the shootout, the girls won as well.
It's worse to go through all that and lose.
But you know,
by 1.
yeah, exactly. No, for sure. And so the big thing about that also though is, and as I was talking to Coach Hernandez and Coach Moore about that game, is Jay beat us last year by like 15, 10. I mean, like the amount of growth that all 4 of those programs, you're starting to see the consistency and the reps starting to pay off more and more. The girls water polo team lost by 1, missed a shot at the end to Stevens. The Legacy girls beat Stevens, play and they play Holmes tonight. Then they get Jay on Saturday, and they win those games. That Fire and Armor Bowl is going to be for first place in the district and stuff. And then you got the boys that are both boys teams are right there at first, second, third, right in there playing for a championship as well. So big kudos to the water polo teams. Really look forward to, I think next week is the first Fire and Armor matchup. So really looking forward to that. And so big things happening at the Aquatic Center as always. Cross country continues on. We didn't get to run at our place last week, but they got to go up to San Marcos, and they did a great job. Alicia Galvez from Legacy, Austin Walsh, and
Nice.
and Annabella Zapata are the three the class of the group. You're talking like top 4, top 5 runners in the district and everything. And then you got Roman Gonzalez and Seth Griffin, who are really taking up the mantle for the Southwest boys.
Yep.
But all 4 teams, the Legacy boys, Southwest boys, and both girls teams they're all right in the hunt. I mean, I think it's a possibility that all 4 of them go to regionals. I think it's a probability that 3 out of the 4 go to regionals in cross country.
Gotcha.
So that's a big deal. So you got water polo, you got the 2 undefeated tennis teams, that we've been talking about for a while. Big plug for October the 3rd. Put it on your calendars. Come out to Legacy High School for the big Fire and Armor tennis match.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Because that one it could be for the district championship again.
Here we go.
And stuff. But we'll see. There's still a couple of, they both have beat McCullum, but neither of them have played MacArthur yet.
We don't know
And
what we don't know yet.
So we don't know what we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And so but this week they both will be heavily favored as the Titans head down to Eagle Pass, because as we know, when you go to win, get a win.
Get a win.
We work. That's what we're working for.
That's what we've worked for.
You know what I mean? That's what they get on the bus and get a win, right? We'll see what happens. But still got to execute, still got to do their thing. And then the Dragons got South San. South San's struggling a little bit to put together a full team right now, whereas the Titans are running with a full JV and a full varsity. So Coach Gomez and Coach Beltran, Coach Arceo, Coach Letty, and those guys, they're all doing fantastic jobs out there with those kids. And then you got the volleyball teams that are killing it. You know what I mean? And I didn't do that on purpose, but they are getting some
Look
kills.
at you.
Yeah. So but
sometimes
the Dragons,
just being around this,
sometimes
you just get into it.
Yeah. So the Dragons had a big 5-set win against South San.
Nice.
Good deal there. And then the Titans are coming along. You know what I mean? I mean, and coming along meaning I think they're turning the corner.
Good.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
They're in the playoff hunt.
And we've been talking about them for a while now.
And they keep taking steps forward, right? And so I think they got a good senior group that are doing well. And then they got a big win on Friday night against MacArthur, and that was they beat a playoff team from last year. Things like that. Beat Southside. Had 2 close ones. Had a close one against South San, and then last night we're doing this on Wednesday, so last night being Tuesday, they played Harlandale. And they lost in 4 games. They won the first one, lost the next 3, but it was 25-23, 25-23, 25 or 26-24. I mean, you're within. Yeah. I mean, the whole game
could go
either way. And so, and I think as they grow together and continue to do well and stuff, then looking for big things is trying to get in that top 4. It's a 9-team district, and I think probably 5 or 6 of those teams are true contenders, and
sure.
Legacy being one of them. And then, the Dragons are, like we said last week, they're young in spots, and sometimes that comes out. I think that they're probably better than South San in 5, but they pulled it off. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of bringing along the youth a little bit. So as they get more into the regular flow of the Tuesday, Friday, prepare, get better, have more practices, things like that. They've already played some really good competition, so I feel like they're gonna continue to grow and get ready to roll. And then you go into football.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're breaking records today. You flew through that. Look at you. Like I'm impressed. I'm happy.
I had a lot of reflection time to be like, man, our coaches are killing it right now. Our kids are killing it right now, and kudos to them. You know.
And I will say this: we did a highlight story, and we're doing highlight stories across middle school athletics as well, and we're doing those through our Beyond the Arches segment, which will be coming out this week on Legacy Football. So we'll get to that here shortly. But for the middle schools, we did two different middle schools just this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just this week, I was recognized one for Beyond the Arches, and then the other one, they said that they listened to the podcast because they've had cousins and brothers who have been featured on it, or like, sisters or whatever that have been mentioned. And they're like, oh yeah, like we know the podcast. And so they're like, we want to be on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. For sure. Like we can definitely
an area of growth.
For sure. But looking at them, they all are speaking with so much excitement for the future of Southwest ISD sports, right? Specifically when it comes to the softball, baseball students, they're really, really excited to get that opportunity and learn. We talked to some of the football players, and it's fun seeing them get that itch to want to play a sport like that and put the pads on for the first time and really be like, oh man, okay, maybe we can, look forward to this in the future. And so I think that when you get to the high school level, these coaches are so good at molding our students as students first and athletes, and just making everybody feel really comfortable. So I'm really excited to see where this goes because, like I said, today, going into football, we focused on legacy today for our Beyond the Arches this week. And there is some massive talent there, especially in the skills position, which I feel like both high schools have been really, really stacked with over the past few years. But I mean, you have a young quarterback, young running back, you have young defensive captains. Like they're a young squad over there, and I think Coach Bruce and that team is going to do a really, really great job. So looking at football, Legacy's home this week. Southwest flip with Nixon. They're playing in Laredo. What are you expecting this week from both squads?
I'm excited that Legacy's going to play win at home. And, I saw something on X the other day that they had the rankings, and I saw Legacy.
Are we calling it X or are we calling it Twitter?
I mean, it's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
But I didn't know. I mean, I
get
was
you. You're
trying to be
professional.
I'm trying to be somewhat professional, but I mean,
can't.
but it's Twitter.
It's Twitter. Be real. You know
I mean, it's Twitter.
You
it
paint
is
it
what
however
it is.
you want to paint it. You put a letter in front
It's
of it.
still a tweet.
It's tweet.
It's a tweet. So I saw a tweet.
Yeah, I saw a tweet. There we go. I saw an X. It sounds weird.
It's just like, it's like, well, where was why?
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway, so
you're giving our viewers.
You know what? I don't know if you watched the debate, but I feel like we went down the wrong rabbit hole there for a minute.
For sure.
Anyway, so where was I? I saw a tweet of a recent poll of sub 6As, and they had I think they had the Dragons at number 3 or 4, but Legacy made the poll. It was at 9. They made a couple nice wins, double digit wins, really starting to put it together defensively, offensively. I think their passing game took another step forward against Lee. If you watch some of that, and then obviously the star, the offensive line and James Ross.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can't ever just give it to the running back. You know what I mean? And most good running backs will tell you the same thing. Yeah. But the dude's a stud too.
Yeah.
And but great game by him. Great game by the coaching staff. Great game by the defense. And they gave up a quick one early and then settled in and everything. And gave up a quick one late, or gave up one late. But in between, they really took care of business. And so big game by Ross. And then really excited about this week. Wynn's going to be a team that's a lot like Legacy in that they're going to play hard. They're going to be well coached. They're going to do those things. I think that Legacy is probably about a 8 to 10 point favorite, if not more. But I expect Wynn to come in prepared, ready to play hard, ready to go, because that's what we expect out of everybody at Wynn. They got great coaches as well, but I think that Legacy's parent night. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
We got a big our first promotion from Raising Canes.
Nice.
We're doing some kicking, what we call kicking for chicken.
There you go.
And stuff. Where Miss Freeman's gonna take two of her kids who have perfect attendance, and they're practicing right now if they can kick a 20-yard field goal, they get canes for a year.
Oh my goodness.
And everything, and everybody
Boy, I
that's
would be
cheering
practicing
for him. Everybody's
every day.
cheering for him gets buy one get one free canes.
There you go.
So let's roll, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
So we're going some kicking for chicken on Friday night, and look forward to that. Have some fun with that. It's parents' night for the Titans, so excited about that. And
and you
it's
mentioned
gonna be a big night.
Yeah, you mentioned James Ross, incredible student athlete, and I think Coach Bruce talked about the switch he had this summer to really get his body in shape, get his mind in check. Was there every day for summer workouts. Was there trying to grind because Coach Bruce told him you have a chance with the seniors who have left to be the guy for this offense, right, and be a leader on this team. What do you want to do with it? And so we were able to catch up with James Ross. And we talked to Coach De La Rosa to talk about kind of team goals, talk about the importance of the community showing support, especially when you're kicking for chicken. You got to have the community to support. So let's take a look and take a listen to James Ross and Coach De La Rosa as they talked about kind of their personal goals and what the team goals look like for this 2024-2025 season.
All righty, we are here with junior running back Mr. James Ross, the man who runs the plays, literally. You're starting running back for the Titan football team. Talk to us, man, about what's special about this squad. Why should people be on the lookout for this squad?
We're a very hard-working team. We try to come every day, give it our all, practice games so it transforms into the games.
Yeah. Talk to me about this coaching staff, man. This coaching staff has been such a fun one to look at and watch from the sidelines. But talk to us about as a player, what's it like playing for this coaching staff?
Sir, they've been in the community for a minute, so it helps. Mm-hmm. They're very understanding. They like to teach us, hands-on type of coaches. Yeah. I love it. Our team loves it. Talk about them all day good. They like to laugh and joke with us.
That's awesome.
Great coaches.
And so talk to me about you, man. You had a great game, right? We saw you hurdling people. We saw all this great stuff. Talk to me about your personal goals as a junior. What do you want to get better at your junior year leading into your senior year? And what do you think is the goal of this team as a whole for this year?
To win district, get that gold ball back. My personal goals, I just want to be the best of my ability. I want to get better every day, work hard. Perfect. Get noticed.
And so, Coach De La Rosa, talk to us about this team. What makes this team special? It's a young group, new faces on varsity, good senior leadership. What makes this team so special for this year?
As a whole, it's the tenacity of this group, man. They have a lot of grit and a lot of buy-in. This summer, these guys were here day in, day out, and just really pushing and rallying, pulling each other up. And there's a special it factor that we haven't seen in a couple years, and it's really exciting.
Awesome. And you mentioned buy-in. The community is bought in, right? You have the staff coming out to support games. You have the hype section for the students. You have families and community members coming out. How important is that as a coach, and even more so as a student athlete, to have that community buy-in?
A village, and this community really loves the game of football. Yeah. And we thrive on the team aspect and the family aspect. So when you can look at 6:45, 7 o'clock, and the stands are full, it really feels great. And then our student section is just crazy. So, anytime we get a touchdown or the turnover chain comes out, they really, really get us hyped up, and our kids thrive off of that.
Yeah. And, Coach Bruce has been a figure here in the district for a long time, right? You have so many alumni of the district on this coaching staff. Talk to me about what makes this coaching staff special and something that the district should be excited about for the future.
Well, since our inception, there hasn't really been a whole lot of turnover. And that does start with a lot of the guys on the offensive staff, myself on the defensive staff, and then, Coach Bruce. that guy, not trying to age him, but we go back. And he was my coach back in the day. And when you hear someone like that wants to come back and start, the other school and embrace being our guy, it's great. Coach Tarvin started the foundation, and Coach Bruce has just rolled with it. And that just makes it easy for the other 12 guys on the staff to believe in what we want, what we expect, and what our community can expect.
Awesome. Last question for you, Coach. I know you coach secondary. Talk to me about kind of the team goals, right, on both sides of the ball that you guys have talked about with these students and what we can expect for the season.
Well, offensively, we want to do what we do. Our identity is pounding the rock. And our guys love it. Our linemen love it. Our running backs love it. Our quarterbacks love it. And defensively, there's nothing better than just watching our guys be able to run power again and again and again and again, even when that other team knows it's coming. It really amps us up. And, of course, as long as they're getting first downs, our guys are staying fresh. Yeah. And then defensively, we fly around. We call it reckless abandonment. Rhyme and reason, we throw it out the window. And we just want to fly to the football and have fun while we do it. And if we can score every now and then, well, that helps too. And then just try to get to the next season. And it starts, 1-0 hopefully this week against a really tough team, and hopefully things work out the way we want it.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. With two great individuals there. Legacy, I mean, we talk about it every time. They're a young squad. What is the conversation as a coach, right? For you as athletic director, what's the conversation, a peek behind, the curtains as a coach and a former coach to look at how do you get the team locked in to play for the seniors now and not to play for the future? What do you do with a young squad like that to say, hey, there's seniors on this team now who want to win now. I know we're looking towards the future and we're building, but what can we do now?
I don't know how much it's about the seniors right now this early in the season in terms of every game that's the conversation. I think it's more a matter of like how are we going to get better? How are we going to stack? How are we going to make sure we're just taking the next step forward? Mm-hmm. That first game that they played against Jeff, it was pretty sloppy. Coach Bruce and I were talking right after the game. He's like, "Man, that was ugly." I said, "Yeah, but a win's a win." Mm-hmm. And so then last week,
got win.
Yeah. So we go from okay, that was the first one. Got some of the jitters out, got some of the expectations out. Now we know what we're doing, things like that. Now the next week becomes okay. How are we putting our kids in better positions to execute better within the game plan and with what they show that they're comfortable with, so that they play fast. And then we continue to clean it up, right? Gotcha. And so this week is a lot of the same thing. You're just trying to be – it's no different than what we try to do as a person, right? You're just trying to be better than you were the day before. Sure. And so it's the same thing for a team. And so they're really working on, just how do we give our greatest effort? How do we – by being prepared, by doing it right, by playing right. And if we prepare, if we don't leave any stone unturned in our preparation – and then we come in focused and we do everything that we can on the field, then that's what we can control. And we need to always worry about what we can control and not worry about the things that are not in our control, because we'll go crazy worried about the things that are not in our control. Sure. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a lot of the being able to keep people from not being focused on what's in front of you. And that's what they're trying to do with a bunch of teenage boys right now. Gotcha. And stuff. So I mean, they do a great job of that.
Absolutely, they do. And so another team that does a great job is the Southwest Dragons. Talk to me about this game, going to Laredo, playing on a Thursday. What does the game plan look like for a Thursday game versus a Friday Night Lights game? As a coach, how quickly does that change? What does that look like to lose a day and to be able to have to kind of gear up, not only for losing a day, but gear up to be traveling that day as well?
I think for a team like the Dragons, who are a much more experienced team, even their stars, their stars have been playing for 3 years now and things like that. So for an experienced team, it's kind of nice. You get one less day of practice, right? Yeah. And where you're really getting out there. They're pretty solid in what they do and how they do it. They're obviously the same thing with Legacy. They're working on cleaning things up. I think that watching them for the first time on Friday night is there's small things to clean up in the secondary. They've given up 2 big passes. Against Holmes, they gave up a big pass, and then against Lockhart, they gave up a big pass. And so really working on cleaning up some of those things, because they're probably a 10, 15, 20-point favorite on Thursday night. But really working on their the inside between the tackles up front, and then the deep ball and things like that. Defensively, a little bit, and then I think offensively is just a matter of continuing to really get into the weeds a little bit on like where the cut is, where this is going to flow based on, if Ty Friesenhan's on this double team, being able to rim off that block. If I'm Noah Manzano, if I'm being able to see where the middle back should go on a safety coming down, being able to read a cutback, things like that. They do a lot more than we ever did. They do a lot more counter action off the toss and stuff, so being able to read some of those things. But then just, I think AJ and Z obviously got in sync last week a little bit, but continuing to work on even more rhythm on the deep ball and everything. But I mean, holy moly, Z Voss had 3 touchdowns, 3. You know what I'm saying? You had 3. AJ had 3 touchdown passes. He's got 5 in the last 2 weeks. So they're an extremely explosive offense, and
sure.
and then you got Tyson, who didn't play the whole game, but he comes in, takes a direct snap, runs kick right on the direct snap, and goes 27 yards for a touchdown. You know what I mean? And so I think it's kind of like, well, who's next? You know what I mean? Because I mean, like Tyson had a big game his first week, and then you had Z had a big game the second week, and then you still got Ja Mills, you still got Charles Stemley, you still got Dorian Moxley. Had our tight end was killing it the other. I mean that he really made the play when he made an amazing catch coming across on a drag route in between 3 guys, just kind of stole it from him. And great dealing with adversity because he dropped a wide open touchdown pass.
Yeah.
But great job by him, just choosing to get the next play and making a big play.
And you said that the community needs to be on the lookout because this might be the most talented group we've had since the 2008-2009 season of big playmakers that we've seen who were tearing it up, breaking records here and there. I mean, you're talking about a really big squad. So looking at this, you have a player who's playing at the next level that we know with Tyson Dean. There's going to be plenty of them playing at the next level in different places. How fun is it to coach a group like this when you have playmakers?
And they're good kids.
And they're good. They really,
they're not
really
like
are. That's
they're
what I was
not
gonna say.
like they're
They really
fun to
are.
be around.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's good energy.
You see,
everywhere.
and it's the same thing for Legacy. I mean, James Ross, you see him after a game, and
One
James
of the
doesn't
best
know me that well, but like he like, hey, coach, what's going on, and stuff like that.
One of the
and
best speakers we've talked to, where you could just tell from the bat, was very, very polite, very, very good. And then talking with Coach Bruce of him being like, yeah, he was in the weight room every day. I go, yeah, I could tell this dude. I gave him a pound in the back, and I had to ice the ham, man.
And we've already talked about Ross a little bit, but I will say this: one thing about that is that he hurdles that guy, and everybody's all about it. But he literally went and searched out the ref, handed him the ball, and ran back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's
about
nice.
his business.
Yeah, that's nice. You know what I mean? Like act like you've been there. And he's been there a lot, and he did, and I appreciated that too. But I also, though the Dragons, they are talented. What I think about when you're talking about like who's next, who's like they're that deep. I remember 2008 probably. Coach Salinas was a junior or senior year, but we had 4 tailbacks, and Steven and Trey were both out against Steele. We're playing Steele. Malcolm Brown's sophomore year. We're playing Steele down in the river bottom, and we went and we lost. I think we missed a 45-yard field goal to win, and lost 9-7 or something like that. And it was with our 3rd and 4th string running back and stuff. You know what I mean? But our 3rd and 4th string running back, one of them was a D1 athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I was talking to one of those kids. I was talking to Patrick Hill and Trey the other night at the Lockhart game, and they're like, "So how good is Tyson? Like, could Tyson and Z play with our guys?" I was like, "Yes."
Well, Tyson's
They
going
would
D1,
they would be right there with the Aaron Kellys and those who have been around know I'm kind of talking about a little bit. And I mean, we had a state mile relay team in the back end. You know what I mean? And these guys could play with them, and that's what I said. And they're like, "All right, I see that." And so it's pretty neat. Like game got game. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, plenty of games to be looking forward to this week and moving forward in the seasons. As we start to close out, anything else that you want to give a shout out to? Any last minute stuff that you want to talk about?
Few things. One is I look forward to that game on Thursday with the Dragons. I think that Nixon's an improved team. I'm interested to see if we can continue to increase the physicality that the Dragons are going to have to.
And Laredo shows
that
up.
They're really going to have to play with. It was a home game that we had to flip.
Yep.
So how we deal with that adversity a little bit. So all of that is going to be interesting. We always kind of like Thursday games if you're good and ready to go and your kids are prepared, because Now you get home late on Thursday night, but you get Friday off. You either go scout or get to hang out with your family and kind of get a little head start on the next week, so you get a little more time. So Thursday's always a little bit nice. But then the last thing is big shout out to our Titan and Dragon Warriors of the week. Titan Warrior of the week was Garnell Zor, basketball player, volleyball manager, basketball player, and regional track athlete.
Wow.
So excited about her. Great student, great kid. Was on our student athlete leadership team. All of those things. So big shout out to Garnell. And then on the Dragon side, our Dragon Warrior of the week was Shannon Bendeley.
Nice.
Comes from a good family of SWISD Teachers of the Year, both mom and dad Teachers of the Year and stuff like that. But Shannon made it. She's the first one to do a book report, so she did a leadership book report and stuff. So scored an extra 25 points there. So big time for the soccer team. So Shannon's been great in the Warrior program since she was in middle school at Scobie. And big shout out to the soccer team and things like that. And then finally, big shout out to our unified swim team.
Awesome.
Had our local meet last night. Great things from Brian Vetta, who's a returning letterman, killing it and stuff. But had some new ones that were doing good. Sonny and Anthony. I saw Anthony just learned how to swim.
That's awesome.
So Anthony's on the relay team, and Anthony's just he's getting it. And I mean, like I feel like we need to have a race because Anthony's ready. Like Anthony was, when you talk about the Dragon values or you talk about the Titan values, it's about Anthony showed relentless effort. You know what I mean? He showed a whole lot of mental toughness and some accountability too, in that he jumps in there and like it was about finishing. It was about getting it done. It was like, I just learned how to do this. And I'm going to find a way to do it. Like I was kind of like inching up. I'm looking at the lifeguard a little bit.
Sure.
And this dude's just like, he's front crawling and he's on his back and he's kind of taking a breath and here he goes again. Like he never gave up. And it was like, boom, looks up, smiles like I got it. And I was like, my man. Yeah. And so great job by those guys. And so on Saturday, we'll be hosting the area Special Olympics and unified swim. Awesome. Special Olympics for everybody in South Texas. So excited about that. Got a whole lot of Warriors. Got about 80 Warriors coming out to volunteer for that our kids are doing. And so kudos to them. And really look forward to doing that as well. So unified swim is that'll finish up their swim season. So we're excited about that.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I know it's been a lot. Hope you enjoyed our interviews with James Ross and Coach La Rosa, the conversation me and Mr. Wagner have had about all of our sports. A lot of stuff to look forward to for Southwest ISD for now and for the future.
I look forward to what my new nickname is.
Yeah. We'll put a question in there. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you answer that question. What should Peter Wagner's new nickname be? Make it appropriate, please. But with that, we appreciate you tuning in. And as always, we are
Southwest.